This row I just planted like a week and a half ago. Down the middle is pole beans, and then there are two different types of corn, one on the right side, one on the left side, and then on the outskirts of that are different squashes and zucchinis and a butternut winter squash. That's called the Three Sisters. This had some peppers from store-bought. They didn't survive. This eggplant. Down this row is my melons and watermelons, which they're little. You can't really see them in there yet, but they're there. They wait for the heat. Like now, the soil's starting to warm up and the water's coming. So the melons, they will really get to going. This is my cantaloupe, was just planted at the same time as the melons, but it just, the temperatures for its growth are different. It's got a lot of blooms. It's really healthy. Everything is organic completely and has been for 5-6 years now. The seeds that I plant, like this row of tomatoes, all my seeds are organic and heirloom. Heirlooms you plant, like say tomatoes right now, because this is heirloom means, you know, like I guess native to the area, the weather. So if I grow them out of season, the heirlooms won't work. This is, I don't know, it's probably a cayenne, more eggplant, but I do the Japanese and Asian eggplant. They're better. This guy's acting like it just doesn't like the heat or something, or it's just growing so vigorously that during midday it just looks limp because it's growing so fast, the foliage. It'll perk up in the evening. You see, it's got little tomatoes on it already. They'll be good. It's odd because down low it's got some smaller tomatoes, but up here it's already got a pretty decent one. Lots of bloom sets. You can see my potatoes here. These two rows on the left are, I think they're like russet. The two over here are those thin skinned red ones. Another eggplant. And I know some of this stuff, when I move fast, the video is real like pixelated. This one says just jalapeno. This is how you want to prune stuff up. Get it up away from the soil, so when it rains and things, you don't get all that splash up. That's what makes them sick. Get some funguses. These ones are always good. A husky. It's like, I forget the name, like husky cherry or something. They grow short, small and compact. You see, hopefully they definitely will put out the tomatoes, but they're cherries. They taste damn good though. Darn good, excuse me. Yeah, this is another store-bought one. The two store-bought ones just don't look anything like my stuff that I plant from seed. I think it's probably because you have to transplant, and that stuff they start them in is so far different than my soil that the roots just don't do anything. But when you start the seeds, there's nothing to slow them down, nothing to let them root down. They're in my soil, and they just send that taproot down. A lot of this is like optical illusion, because the row itself is actually really deep, And at the deepest point down here, I dig a furrow and put the seed potatoes about this far apart. And then you mound it up, let them grow, mound it up, let them grow, mound it up. Basically, these mounds now are full of potatoes. I pulled one plant up just to check it a month ago, and I counted over 18 potatoes on one plant, which is ridiculously good. That's honeydew there. It's windy out here and I'm kind of shaky. But maybe you'll see them in there. A few little green things popping up. Different strains of watermelon. One of them is a Triple Crown Winter. Costs 50 cents per seed. A 5-pack costs $2.50. That's wild. Better be good. Again, that's my Three Sisters row. It's a really nice day out. The Martin houses, they're really fun to watch and listen to. We've had them coming in since the 70s. They've had houses here. These are my greens from October. This one here, these are called Crimson Kale. And then Georgia collards. I had a bunch, this whole row was dill plants and pak choi. Bees extremely love dill. It brings them in like crazy, and all my dill plants were covered in them. Large leaf Swiss chard. I mean, look at the stalks on them here. It's midday, so they're wilted a little. But look, it's one leaf. I'll have to do it again when it's perked up. But here's my hand. That's the leaf. I'll have to get it later when it's perked up. It's too hot right now. I got a cool little kohlrabi that I've been pruning and never picked because it just looked cool. Kohlrabi is wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. I love the flavor. That's the flower row. Wouldn't be surprised if there's some sunflowers in there. Got my little hideaway later on in the summer. This trellis will be completely grown up and over and all the way up here, and it will be hidden away. I put a chair in there and get nice shade, hang out in the fresh air. See, I was talking about all the pecan and oak pollen around this place. That's why. Well, all right, that'll do it. Have a great day, y'all.